Hey guys, Cody here. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had good holidays and got some time to enjoy with your family and friends and maybe some time to rest. I wanted to touch base on a few questions. I had some come through. I get a lot of questions that come through. Oftentimes, they're questions that I've already answered. I think I'm nearing 40 videos in. So if this is the first video you're watching, it's my recommendation to go look at the other videos and see. I usually put in the description what the video is about, and get some intel from there. Because if you write me a question and it's one that I've already answered, I'm going to say, hey man, go check out the videos. And it's not because I'm being dismissive. It's because I have a lot of people that write and a family and a full-time job and everything else. But I'm here to support you. I just need you to do your homework as well. And if you have some unique questions that, kind of for your situation, I'll gladly answer those. I've done that before. And I did that today actually with a guy that had a very unique situation. And we'll go from there. So I do have some also. I answer questions sometimes that just might be interesting or entertaining, or and hopefully I can, within that framework, I can add some value to your objectives of either wanting to become a DS special agent, or you're still considering it and you're not sure. And if you have those questions, send them to me. And if I haven't answered it, I'll make a video about it. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So I got three questions here. I'm going to first start off with the William D. Clarke Senior Fellowship for Diplomatic Security Agents. So that's a fellowship for folks getting a master's degree. It's a brand new thing. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I don't know much about it, so that's kind of giving you a hint about what I'm going to talk about. But I will let you know. I will let you know what I know, which is not much. Talk about do DSAs protect congressional delegations overseas? So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then the Marine Corps Ball, and what are your duties and roles, and tell me about it. So these are from three different people. So, the William D. Clarke is from a bunch of people. But so, William D. Clarke Senior Fellowship is a new endeavor by DS to recruit. And if you are obtaining a master's degree, you can apply to it. I believe there are certain requirements that you have to hit to be able to apply. But I know that if you're applying for a master's degree, that's something that I would encourage you to look at. From my understanding, if you are accepted to that fellowship, you graduate with your master's degree, then you're automatically added to the register, or at least automatically given a conditional offer, and then you have to go through the steps of the physical fitness tests, the background investigation, and the medical before you can get on the register. But it's like a different way to get in, compared to the rest of us that kind of go through the natural process. I've had people ask me like, "Hey, what's on it?" Well, I've applied to it. One guy said he's like in the top 24. I guess they wrote him. What should I expect? I don't know. I don't know what you expect. So what he listed was there's an oral assessment, there's a writing sample, and there's I forget what else he wrote. But I don't know what they're going to ask on those. I don't know what questions you're going to have, what oral assessment. I don't have that. Now, what I will say that is if it is like the BEX, the Board of Examiners, which is for those of you just learning, it's once you get past the application process, you get your qualifications review, you get selected to go to the panel and have an oral interview. That's called a Board of Examiners. And what that is you sit there and you have an interview, you have a writing sample, and you have to nail that. And it's a 4 to 5 hour interview process, and it's tough. It's very tough. It's very competitive. It's a very competitive job. Now, if that fellowship is something like that, sure, I can help with that. I can provide guidance and advice. I don't know I don't know the questions. I don't know the answers. But what I do with the BEX people that I train with through my Patreon is, I help them articulate themselves. If they're military guys, I usually help soften their language. If it's, I help them trim the fat on like if they talk, if they're too verbose or loquacious or whatever. I kind of help them fit it in and narrow it down and make sure they're very deliberate about their talking points. We go with scenarios, etc. I could do that. but I don't know what the William D. Clarke is for. But if you want to just prep, just interview prep, just practice, just talk to someone, then in that case, I can help you, pursue that. So, to those of you that are interested in it, it's brand new, and that's why I don't know. So if you have intel and you want to help out your fellow man and woman, hit me up, and I will do my best to provide information. To let people know. The word's going to get out eventually of what it is, but it's such a new thing, and they're not selecting a lot of people. It's his first year. It's its inception year. So that's we're still learning that. So if you have questions about that, you can send them to me. I just don't know if I know the answer. But if you want to train, if you want to prep, you want to do mock interviews, you want to do writing samples and things that I know DS looks for, then hit me up, and I can direct you to my Patreon account. All right. Next thing, Marine Corps ball. Do DS agents? Tell me about the Marine Corps ball. The question, I had this jotted down like a month or two ago. It's about the Marine Corps ball. So, Marine Corps ball overseas. Marine Corps ball. If you're a Marine, it's a big deal. If you are a State Department, if you're a Foreign Service Officer, you're a Marine MSG, the Marine Corps ball is the big deal, is the deal of the whole year. So if you're working at a U.S. Embassy, U.S. Consulate, the Marine ball is the freaking event. It's the event where everybody dials up, local nationals, like local freaking, you name it, celebrities, government officials, expats. They all want to come to the Marine Corps ball. It's a big freaking deal. Over at the embassies and consulates, and the Marines put on a show. They do what Marines do, and they do a good job. And they plan, they save money all year. They have these different events all year to collect funds to support the Marine Corps ball, so they can make it nice for everyone. And it's a great time. It's ceremony. You do the full ceremony. They cut the cake. They give the cake to they march the cake in. They read the commandant's birthday message. They cut the cake. They hand the cake to the youngest Marine. They hand it to the oldest Marine. And I think the Marine of Honor. It's been a while since I've done all this, or the guest, the speaker of whoever the guest speaker is. And it's a good time. Then you got a DJ or a band, and you jam out, and you're all dressed. Marines are dressed in their blues, and consulate and embassy staff are getting down, having a good time. I think it's open bar. Yeah, it's open bar actually, and it's a good time. It is the event of the year, so that's awesome. You as a DS agent, in most cases, will be able to enjoy it. Depending on where you are, you might have to work it. Now, if you have to work it, you're gonna have to limit your consumption of alcohol. Meaning, depending on what you're doing. If you're the deputy RSO, at some point you may be having an oversight. The RSO is going to go get hammered, or whatever he or she does, and then the deputy RSO will have some oversight of the team of maybe two of the ARSOs, depending on the size of your post, right? So you might just be able to party because you have a very low criminal threat and very low terrorist threat post. Good. If you have a high terrorist threat post, some of you guys and girls are gonna be on duty. If you have a high criminal threat post, you're going to probably have some folks on duty. I was fortunate for the balls I attended as a DS agent. I attended some as a Marine security guard as well, but as a DS agent, I did not have to work them. I mean, I worked it as I set up security. I helped with the event planning and everything, event security, which is a thing that we go over on the Patreon, but I didn't have to worry, I have to carry or anything like that. But there are places where you do. So it's kind of a crapshoot depending on what post you're at and who the RSO is. RSO may see, it's not necessary to work it. Let's just have a good time, or they might say, we need a couple people to handle it. And so you will. So, but it's a good time. The Marine Corps Ball is the show in town every year. So, enjoy it. Do DS agents protect congressional delegations overseas? So, it depends. It's one of the biggest, the most common answers in DS is it depends. So, delegation comes over to Australia. probably not going to provide any protection. They're going to go do their thing and talk to whoever they're going to talk to, and that's it, right? If they come to Iraq, yeah, you're going to protect them. They're government officials. Now, what's important to know is that the U.S. State Department, Domestic Security Service, is part of the executive branch. So we're responsible for executive branch employees. Now, a congressional delegation, part of the legislative branch, comes over to a high threat location. Of course, we're not going to just let them wander out. I mean, the embassy facilitates this. We're not going to let them wander out, right? So we do provide protection in places like Iraq, Pakistan. I imagine if they go to freaking Sudan or Somalia or back in the day in Yemen, there's certain places where you're gonna provide some protection, but it's not a requirement. So in the statute for DS agents, and I'm gonna get this wrong on the exact. I'm gonna paraphrase and probably get it wrong, but basically the end of it is in any other protection duties or whatever it is designated by the Secretary of State. So a Sec State or Department of State comes down and says, look, there's this congressional detail coming down. I need you to provide protection. Roger that. You're going to do it. So again, it just depends. Now, I'll give you a short example. When I was in Ho Chi Minh City, Patrick Leahy, who was president pro tem, or say he's fourth in line for the presidency. So Senator Patrick Leahy, fourth in line for the presidency, and he came to Vietnam. He came to Da Nang. You know Da Nang from the history of the Vietnam War. And I was in Ho Chi Minh City, which is a drive up there, a flight up there. It's quite a ways. And I was asked to provide protection for him by myself, with my investigator, my local national investigator. And that was kind of cool, right? I plan everything on my own. There's no other protection details, no other DS agent. It's just me. He was in Hanoi for a bit. They put him on a plane. When he got down there, I received him, and then I had my local team member with me in our Ford Explorer, and we trailed him. I got on the bus with him. He was riding around on a bus with obviously a chartered bus that was, they had plans to do things. They met with some of the folks from that were affected by Agent Orange in the Vietnam War, and man, it was pretty touching. It was a pretty touching time, and I don't know Leahy. I know his politics. At that point, kind of politics are out the door. He's an old school Democrat guy, and his son was a Marine. So I went there, and he shook his hand. Hey sir, I'm here. I'm Cody. I'm with the U.S. Consulate down in Ho Chi Minh City. I'll be your security, and let me know if you need anything, and I'll guide you and direct you and your team. That wasn't just him; it was a senator and I think three or four congressmen who were all. I wasn't as much into politics those days. Not that I'm crazy into it now, but I don't know what their politics were, but they were pretty cool people, decent people. It's a shame to say you got to qualify that a congressman is a decent person, but we are where we are in this world. And so I did. So I guided them. I tell them. I think the biggest issue is crossing the freaking road, man. Like motorbikes going left and right, crossing the road is gonna hurt you before any other threat. There's no guns in Vietnam, or very few, if any, besides the local police. And the visit wasn't really advertised so much. Actually, I provided more security for his wife than anything, because she was just like all over the place. He was kind of slower moving and getting around, and she was just like, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go to do this shop and everything. And I remember recommending, it was kind of cool. I recommended something. I saw something on the bottom shelf while they were shopping. It's very casual. I'm like in a button down short sleeve shirt, unarmed. Just there again. You don't need to be armed all the time with protection, depending on where you're at. You're not some of you go gung ho guys. I gotta shoot. Look, this is some places where you got to use your brain, your mind, your soft skills, how to understand security. And if you can't wrap your head around that, that's probably not the job for you. But there are times where you don't have it. And so anyway, we're just in a shop right now, and I'm kind of watching him, and I see what he's looking for. I hear what he's kind of looking for, and I say, hey, sir, look. Well, this might be something you're looking for, and I point out to him, and my not my interpreter, but my local staff kind of mentions the relevance of this item. I think it was like a dragon, it's like the year of the dragon, and his son was born in the year of the dragon. I forget, it's something like that. And he's like, oh, that's great. He picked it up, he bought it. It was pretty cool. And he's like, oh, thank you for recommending it, and finding it. And his wife was happy, and everything was happy. So Anyway, that type of stuff happens. You do get on a personal level with some of these congressional folks or members of Congress, and that's kind of a little story in itself. It was a great trip. It was awesome. I ate some of the best Vietnamese soup I've ever had. It's called Mi Wang. Probably fucking butchering that, but it was good soup, and I've been trying to find it ever since, and I haven't. But anyway, that's that. Last one, I don't have it written here, but a guy asked me yesterday: do chronic diseases, are you allowed to be a DS agent if you have a chronic disease? And my answer to him was, again, it depends. I don't know exactly what your disease is, but what I told him was you need to be worldwide available. Right? You're responsible. You're responsible to be worldwide available. That's what they ask of you, and that's not just on a medical point. Like, the medical is important, that you can go to serve in any country with any with no conditions that would prohibit you from being successful in the job there. The other part is, you want to obviously willing to go over. If you're not willing, if you say, well, I'm just going to stay domestic, well, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get selected, or you'll end up leaving within a couple of years because you're going to get sent overseas. So if you have a chronic illness, this is an HR medical issue. It's not a Cody issue. It's not a Cody issue. It's not an issue that I can answer so well. But the basic is you need to be able to pass the medical exam so you can be worldwide available, and of course be willing to be worldwide available. And so that's that. I don't know what to suggest. If you really want it, go for it and just be prepared. I don't really know how to advise this. Maybe be prepared to make it or not make it. Just don't get your hopes up too high. You can, it's really hard to get to when you're a candidate or an interested candidate to get someone inside medical or HR to talk to you, which is one of the reasons I make these freaking videos. But I'm not HR, I'm not medical, I'm not a DS agent anymore, right? I was there for, like I said, 10 years and been around it for about 15 with other jobs in the military. But so anyway, so that's that. All right, so we're 17 minutes. I can ramble. When I first started these, I said I'd try to keep like 5 minutes or so. That's impossible. I'm Cajun. Look, I appreciate all the support. Hope you all have a great new year. As always, at the end, I'll give a few plugs. So I got a dirty Off the X hoodie here. I do have a good bit left. So hit me up if you're interested. I have the same. I have the t-shirts as well. If you look at my website, codyperron.com/shop, it's got the higher threat protection skeleton with a rifle and a backwards hat and ear pro. It's pretty cool. It's good design. It's popular design. I got mugs. I have hats. Let's see. Oh shit! This is gonna be a mess. Yeah, I got your contractor casual hats. This. You can have a patch on either of these. I have them all. The patch is a high threat protection patch, which I think is kind of cool. But got mugs. A few different things for you to check out. That costs. I have a book. Obviously, all this started with a book. I wrote this book, Agents Unknown. It's proven to be very valuable to people that are applying for the job. So it's on Amazon, or you can get it from me direct, codyperron.com. It's an easy read. It's a stream of consciousness type writing. I think you would enjoy it and find value in it. And that's the objective, is to add value and entertain. What else? There's a lot of free stuff out there. So the YouTube videos where I'm going to post this, look through the 30 or 40 videos that I have there, and you can get some intel there. There's a Becoming a DSS Agent Facebook group. That group has a ton of intel. It's active agents, former agents, retired agents communicating with interested candidates. I have group experts assigned. It's to cut through all the BS and the 911 forums that are out there. So go check it out. Fill out the questions, even if it's short. If you're short, that's fine. I just want you to fill out the questions because I need to know who you are when you're trying to join the group. Off the X podcast is I'm right around 20 episodes. I interview former DS agents, active DS agents. The DS Recruiter was one of them that I interviewed. Security contractors, Marine security guards. I have Robert David Booth. who is the author of State Department Counterintelligence Leaks, Spies, and Lies. Actually, that's the hardcover, but this is the real cover that goes on top of it. It's hard to get that book now because he'll tell on the podcast. So I have a podcast with him tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to drop it probably next week, but I'm speaking with him tomorrow. So tomorrow, meaning the 6th of January. So that podcast is a ton of intel. I think if you listen to it and you want to travel and you want to adventure, you want to be overseas, you're gonna freaking want to sign up for this job. Look, there's no more adventurous job in federal law enforcement than being a DS agent, because you're traveling the world. You find yourself in some situations that are really, really unique and interesting and fun, where you can use critical thinking skills, and and if you read my book, you'll note that as well. Otherwise, I do have a Patreon account. For those of you who might have watched all these videos and are interested in contributing, you could. I would be grateful for it if you want to join. It's not, it's $5 to join for a month, by the way, and you can cancel anytime. But you get a good bit of intel about applying to the job, hints and tips for your Bex panel, and just about life. I get to do short stories that didn't make the book. But I verbalize them. I talk on a podcast type deal with short stories. I do what I think are thought-provoking articles. I have virtual happy hours. I've had a few of those. I have guest speakers. I'm supposed to have more guest speakers. People have busy lives, including myself. But the intent is to have a guest speaker coming in. We have to postpone, but January, February. And by that I mean, a DS agent, retired or active, FBI agent, DEA, whoever we can get. I have a pretty good network that I can bring people in. And it's on Patreon. So it's patreon.com/offthex_inc. Check it out, and you can pay me. Otherwise, just hit me up. And if you just have some basic questions, again, if you ask me about something that I've already talked about, I can't spin, or hey, what's the best? Some questions I get: what's the best path, or what advice do you have for becoming a DS agent? It's like, check, dude, I have fucking 40 videos and 8 hours of advice to give you, of tips and intel, of information to give you. So just be smart about it, right? When you ask for help, you got to do your own homework too. And but should you have a unique question, then I'm happy to accommodate and chat with you. So anyway, I appreciate all of you that are watching this. If you like this, I would ask you to hit a like. If you think it would add value to some people that and it's a 911 forum, or wherever you're looking at, share the video, share some of the other videos. I'd be grateful for that. If you got questions, info@codyperro.com. Hit me up, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, y'all. Out.